when you have to convince a homeowner to trust you as the contractor, and there's like 10 other contractors that are just as competitive, like that have just the same qualifications, and sometimes even give lower pricing, like then it's really hard to win.
Door to door or digital marketing?
All the traditional marketing practices like door to door, yard signs, word of mouth, that will always have its value. That will never go away. But the thing is, right now with social media, like the amount of people you can reach, and even at the early stages when you have no money, sometimes I understand you have to bid on the lower side and you have your times and seasons when you do that, but try to be more competitive with your bidding because it's better for you, your company.
Hey, what's up, roofing fam? Welcome to one more episode, Roofers Going Digital TV. And this time, we have my good friend, Hernan. Welcome to my show, my man.
Thank you, man. It's an honor and a privilege. To everybody watching, thank you for watching us. I know you're here for Pancho, but hopefully I can give you something you like.
The audience will say, who are they here for? We will see it with the views. Hey, Hernan, let's start the interview with your story. We love stories in this podcast, so we want to know who you are and what do you do, man.
Awesome. It can be confusing to tell where I'm from, but original Ecuadorian, grew up in Connecticut, influenced by New York. That's the personal side. Like professional-wise, having undergrad in Spanish language and literature, was going to be a Spanish teacher. Ended up in manufacturing and ended up getting an MBA. So at 23, I was offered the chance to be a store retail manager for Hilti. So like that's the European like tools, top quality, like, and they also do epoxy and stuff. So in some of the movies and in some of the series like Money Heist, like in the first one, they use all Hilti tools to break into the bank.
I remember.
Quality power tools, epoxy nails, so on. So that at 23, I started in the industry and manufacturing, in construction. From then, I went to outside sales with Hilti as well. Had the Bronx and New Rochelle. So Bronx, New Rochelle, much higher end clientele. So got the best of both worlds. And then finally, when I was thinking, you know, like, is this industry still for me? I ended up working for Owens Corning.
Okay.
I always like to say the Pink Panther was my boss. I was there almost 4 years, loved every minute of it. But I'm now 30, so I wanted to try something different. I decided to come to the contractor side. So now I work for LA Roofing. They're based out of Middletown, Connecticut. I'm one of their sales managers now. So now I'm on the contractor side. I went from being on the corporate, on the selling side, like on the distribution manufacturing, to now being a contractor.
Nice. Hernan, what do you think are the main difference right now that you know both sides of the business, that I believe that is one of the most important experience that you are going to have in your life and the roofing industry? What are the main difference that you see working with each side?
So that's one of the things I do have to apologize to contractors, because being on the corporate side, on the manufacturing side, to me, it never made sense why a lot of the trainings I did, a lot of things that I explained, why it was so hard to put into practice. But now that I'm in the contractor side, I'm like, you know, we had the right theory, like a college professor has the right theory, but in practice, it's a whole nother world. So now I'm understanding why there are some cases where you sell low, where you're not able to sell high, where you have to do some of the things you do. Obviously, you still have to work through it and overcome it, but both sides have their challenges, but definitely the contractor side, way more difficult.
Damn, way more.
Because at the end of the day, on our end, like, we're selling the product, we're promoting the product, but the people that are really selling it day to day to the homeowners, to the end user, is the contractor, their sales team, their group. So if they're not a good contractor, if they don't have a good team, and not just sales team, but production team, operations, everything else, forget it. So they have to do everything. And then once they've done it all, we just have to convince them, hey, use us over our competitor. So we only have to make them pick between us and a competitor. With them, they have 11 steps before they can even charge or gain profit, do what they do.
I had a similar experience. I used to work in Nissan and BMW in the headquarters, and I was working with the dealers. And in my experience, I saw that the dealers or the headquarters of every company that works with retail is that everything is built already. In the contractor or in the dealers or in the outside of the business of the headquarters, it's like nothing is built. You need to build it yourself. And that's the hard part. I don't know if you agree with that. You need to build.
Yes, because even when I was in Hilti, I was one of their top salespeople. When I went outside, I did a good job selling in the store. But when you run a retail store for a company, the people that are coming in, they want to buy your product. They're going in there because they need it. So that's an easier sell. And again, even when I went in outside sales for Hilti, I was selling to the contractor who needed the product. So even though it was a little more difficult, I still wasn't selling to the end user or the customer himself. But now that you're on the contractor side, when you have to convince a homeowner to trust you as the contractor, and there's 10 other contractors that are just as competitive, that have just the same qualifications, and sometimes even give lower pricing, then it's really hard to win.
Nice. Now, Herman, I know your experience, it's in sales. What do you think? And it's in sales, and you know a tons of contractors out there. You have talked with them, you have negotiated with them. What's the difference, or what are the sales strategies or business strategies that the best are implementing that the other ones are not?
Correct. So in my opinion, what helps a great contractor and a contractor that struggles a lot or potentially doesn't make it, both a longer term contractor and a new one, is their willingness to adapt, their willingness to learn. So the contractors that are you know what, I'm struggling in this area, but let me hire somebody, or let me get in touch with someone, or let me hire a consulting firm to fix that, and they're open to coaching and learning, they improve, and eventually they get out of it and they become stronger and better. The company that struggle the most are the ones that are we've always done this, I'm not changing it. They stay on that ground, and yes, they'll still have a consistent customer base for a certain period, but eventually their lack of adaptation unfortunately leads them to the end of their business.
All right. So I think it's a lot of hiring people, delegating, and trusting. Do you think are the best?
Correct. And it's really difficult because when you have your money invested, and you've your business, your company, it's like your baby. It's everything to you. It's hard to want to trust your child, something that you value as much as you would value your child, to somebody else, to a stranger, no matter what their qualifications are. But you need to start doing it little by little so that you can from a higher view manage the business and be able to expand. Because at the end of the day, there's only 24 hours in a day, 7 days a week. So there's only so much you can handle. And especially if you're going to business, you're going in there to grow, prosper. So it's only going to get harder and harder, as the saying goes, more money, more problems.
Yeah, that's true that. Now, getting a little bit deeper into sales, the $1 million question: door to door or digital marketing, traditional? What do you think is the path? If I'm starting, where do I need to go so I can get out of I call it the nightmare stage, when you are between 0 to 1 million, 2 million, where you don't have any money for investments, you don't have money for digital marketing. Where can I start when I'm in early stage?
Of course. So the thing is, all the traditional marketing practices like door-to-door, yard signs, word of mouth, that will always have its value. That will never go away. But the thing is, right now with social media, the amount of people you can reach, and even at the early stages when you have no money, if you can daily or consistently throughout the week, throughout the month, create like reels for TikTok, for Instagram, you keep posting stories. If like that's free, like yes, it's taking up your time, which has a value, but it's free when you start up. And the thing with that is if you make the right video, the right TikTok, and it goes viral with the sharings, with the views, with the amount of phones that it lands, even if it's you dancing, like let's say I dance on the roof, and people are just forwarding that video because they think it's funny that I'm dancing on the roof. The people that need a roof changed, a roof replacement, they're gonna be like, hey, this company's funny, I love their marketing idea, but let me get a quote from them because they do roof replacement, roof repairs. So digital is the way of the future and like the present, because it can reach like hundreds, thousands to millions in seconds, depending on just how viral like your content goes, rather than the traditional way where if you hire a door knocker, he can't knock 1,000 doors in one day, but a video, a story can.
Now, imagine I am a roofing contractor. Herman, I have tried these videos. I have danced in the roof. I have tried everything, and I haven't go viral, man. What can I do, man?
I mean that one sucked, but at that point, I still insist that digital is the way to go. And at that point, you are gonna have to invest, like for example, in your programs, because yes, you gotta pay for quality, you gotta pay for things that are gonna work. But again, between spending X amount of dollars on hiring 2 people to go knock doors, or spending that money and giving it to you so that you help me reach the thousands via social medias, would you rather have 1,000 like people viewing like the content your company created, or would I rather have my 2 guys that I paid for the day that maybe knocked 100 doors? I'd rather have the 1,000.
True that. Oh yes, I agree. And also the other point, your point was great. The other point is like be creative. Probably dancing on the roof is not a good idea, but probably what if you like now you are in the roof and you share like your team, your project manager explaining the system, or I don't know, your office team dancing in the office all together. But or be patient, don't you think?
Yes, correct.
So that's another part. Like, okay, if I haven't go viral, try other things, right?
Yeah, and today, like in a seminar that I was in, somebody that does it really great in the industry and social media, Priscilla La Rufera, like it took her 6 years before she reached 1 million in Facebook, 1 million in TikTok, and almost half a million in Instagram followers. But that doesn't mean it's gonna take you 6 years. Like we can learn from all these different influencers how they did it. So if you go to people that have a lot of followers, you go to Pancho's website, they can help you, like instead of 6 years, ideally get it done in a year, 6 months, like through their practices. But the key thing that I got from her that she said that just stuck out to me, she's like, it took me 6 years. I didn't start off with like 1 million, 500,000 views, all these followers, but I kept doing it. I kept doing it every day. And like, if you see all the influencers you follow, their videos way back, they didn't even reach 1,000 views. Yeah. But years later, now they did it. So the key thing is stay consistent because it will work.
Yes. I agree with everything that you just said, Herman. Now, Herman, changing a little bit the topic. We already talked about what are the best companies doing, some of the best tactics for sales and marketing. What are the companies that are not making it, doing it? What are the companies doing wrong when they are starting, in your experience and working with all the contractors in OC?
Of course. Unfortunately, the biggest mistake that I see happening with a lot of new companies or new people that are starting, they went from being the people that did the work, which again, a lot of honor, like a privilege, like, those people, we need them. But they went from doing the labor to now being business people, and big credit to making that step. But in the process, there isn't a school for going from being a subcontractor to a contractor. Maybe there is, but most people aren't going to go to that school because they want to make that step. Because the way you analyze it, you're like, if I already do the work, the physical work, and I understand it, which is the toughest, now I just have to sell and like charge a higher price, and that's it. But the problem is when they make that jump, they don't take into account taxes, the difference between an LLC and corporation. Like they're maybe only charging 100 more than when they were subcontractors, and they have to charge 300 more. And two, let's say they do make that jump and they're closing a lot of deals and they start spending the money right away. So unfortunately, it's the lack of getting the right consulting, the right education, and just jumping straight without having a good plan in place.
So are you saying that the money that my company is generating is not for me? I cannot use it and spend it in whatever I want?
No, of course you can, but the thing is, definitely consult an accountant, definitely double check. Hey, I made this amount. Did I make profit or did I lose? Because sometimes you think the labor and the material cost me 300 like a square, and I sold for 500, I made 200 a square. But then when you do taxes, when you take account the gas, like the lunch that you bought the crew, you might have actually been at a loss, but you don't know it yet until 3 months later when you have to pay the taxes.
That's a really good point. Having a good accountant that can help you with all this without doubt. Now, I love all these recommendations that you are giving to all the roofing fam out there. Now, Herman, changing a little bit again the topics, because where are you seeing the industry is going, the market, with all this situation that is happening? And in general, like I don't like to get into politics, but where do you think the roofing industry trends are going in your experience for the next 5-10 years?
Of course. And this isn't just to like help out my good friend Rancho. This isn't to push things his way, but things are going digital, like in the near future, not 5 years from now. Like currently, if you use technology, it's great, but two, it's gonna be something that you have to adapt to, because in certain states, it's gonna become illegal to door knock, to have a canvassing team.
True that.
So then the question is, wait, if my guys can't door knock anymore, how are we gonna get to these people? What if we don't wanna do the dancing videos? What if we don't wanna do all these TikToks? What if we feel that that's not enough? You don't have to do like all the viral like influencer things, but there's technology and stuff that Pancho uses where you can do digital door knocking, where there's a technology out there where you're gonna be able to still reach these audiences, these neighborhoods, these homeowners, without physically touching the door and having legal issues.
Right now that you touch that topic, is storm chasing a sustainable way to grow a roofing business?
It's a good start if you have experience in it. So if you're in an area, big hailstorm hits, like yes, it is a great way to start because it's immediate money, it's people that need a roof, it's an easier sell. But the moment the storm work is done in that area, and another storm, let's say, doesn't happen for another 5 years, you have no work for 5 years. And if you didn't learn to, in the process, start selling retail and like train your salespeople to sell like non-insurance, unfortunately, your business is only good while there's like hail damage, while there's like storm. So storm chasing is a good money to start, or in between if you have a group that can go and chase that. But I wouldn't suggest making your primary business if you want to be in business for the long term.
I love it. I love it. Everything yes, you are completely right. Now, Herman, what is one last advice that you want to leave the roofing community to, or a homeowner? Like, what would you tell a homeowner? Like, what recommendation would you give to a homeowner? And we are going to close the conversation with that. What advice would you give to a homeowner before they hire a company like yours?
Thank you. So the big thing is there's a lot of competition out there. There's a lot of good companies like currently like bidding on the lower side. And that's just trends with the market. But the thing I'm doing when I go to job bids, I tell homeowners, I'm like, listen, you're gonna have bids that are gonna be super low. You're gonna have bids that are super high. And you're gonna have some that are gonna be right here in the middle. Like, as tempting as it is to go with the lower numbers, look at the companies that are in the middle and high range and go with them. And why? Not because they're not charging more because they just want to make more profit. They have an office, they have good quality workers, they have a whole system in place. After they do your roof, if there's a problem, they have a system in place to like fix and replace that. And ideally, they're going to be around for a long time. So they'll be able to be there for you on the longer term. Where if you go with the more economical thing, there's a saying in Spanish, lo barato sale caro. Like, I probably won't be the greatest at translating it, but the things that are cheap end up being expensive.
Yeah.
It's the best way I would translate it.
Yeah.
So that's my biggest recommendation. And then also, it goes with the contractors. Sometimes I understand you have to bid on the lower side, and you have your times and seasons when you do that, but try to be more competitive with your bidding because it's better for you, your company.
I love it. Love it. Hey, Herman, where can people contact you and where can they find you? Like if a homeowner is seeing us, can you give us your phone number and your social media so they can contact you?
Of course. So, like, I won't give my phone number out just because in case this goes viral, I don't want to get calls from
True that.
But for right now, my personal Instagram is at the letter Q, the letter T, Z as in zebra, A, M as in Mary, B as in boy, R, A, N as in Nancy, O. And soon I will be making a professional account as well, and I will tag it there. But for right now, that would be the best place for any inquiries.
Now, and the company website or company information?
As for the company I work for, LA Roofing, there is an Instagram page and there is a website. So just laroofing.com, and it is based out of Middletown, Connecticut.
Awesome. Herman, thank you very much for all your time, all your recommendations, and I hope to see you soon. I hope to see you again, and thank you very much, fam, and my friend Herman. You're the best.
Thank you.
Peace,
Thanks
fam.
for watching.